Katarina, thank you so much for being on the call. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to share your experience. How's your day going?
Good, good, good. It's exciting to talk to you again. It's been quite some time, so I am happy to be here.
For sure, for sure. No, I appreciate it a ton. So, just to give you guys some background, Katarina and I, we initially met in a Facebook group. So we both were taking the same online course, and one of the things that I did is I asked, I asked the group who would be willing to do a market research interview for me, for my online course that I'm building, Best Skills Academy, and so. I asked for parents of teenagers. And so Katarina, she saw that post and was willing, to sit down and do an interview. And she was a bit skeptical at first, and I'll let her share that. But, Katarina, if you wouldn't mind, just share, your thoughts initially when you saw that I was looking to do a course for teenagers, and just what you were thinking it could be, or, how could I serve your sons?
Yeah, so I noticed the post you were looking for parents of teenagers, but I usually don't volunteer for things like that. But then I saw a few of other of your posts, and you really came across as a very friendly and approachable person. So I said, okay, I am going to do you a favor, not really expecting much from our conversation, but. And I have two teenagers. At that time, I
Hmm.
think they were 16 and 17. And I was thinking, I really didn't know what else could you offer, because my husband and I, we try to give our kids opportunities to really learn about life and life skills, and we talk about those things at dinner table, right? So I was sort of curious what you have to offer, but I really had no expectations. I went into that interview that I'm really helping you, not you me. So then things changed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So we went through the interview. I asked you some questions, and at the end, I kind of gave you my elevator pitch, right, of what the course actually was. So when I shared that, just kind of describe to me, like, what you felt or kind of how things shifted once you heard what Best Bet Skills Academy is all about.
Yeah, so my guys, teenagers, especially boys, not very active, procrastinators, not very motivated. So I thought, well, how can you make them more motivated or interested in things? And you started to talk about those five basic skills that you were teaching teenagers. And to be very honest, those are skills that I acquired myself much later in my life, not in my teenage years, not in 20s or 30s, much later. And I
Hmm.
wished that I knew all those skills much before. My life would be so much easier if I had all those skills, right? So that really surprised me because I never thought about teaching those skills to teenagers. I thought, first of all, you cannot teach those skills. They just either come in your life, and if you are lucky, you'll somehow learn them. And then I thought, you know, aren't teenagers too young to learn this? And then I realized, no, the sooner the better, right? So
Right.
I was very excited by the end of the call, and I said, well, I need to talk to my husband. So I went and talked to my husband, and he was in it like after 2 minutes of our conversation. And he said, I trust you. If you and I didn't even know you, right? So it wasn't
Right.
like I
Right.
knew what you were doing or what exactly the program was all about. But I had a very good feeling from our conversation, and just the fact that you can teach my boys five really amazing skills that they want learn in school or anywhere else, we were all excited. So my husband was on board after a couple of minutes of me talking about it.
That was actually like for me, and I don't know, I think I did share this with you after the fact, but it was pivotal for me because number one, I actually was not in sales phase yet. I mean, you know the course, so I wasn't in the sales phase yet. I was still very much in market research. And then the fact that, you guys was like, hey, this is a no-brainer for us. Like we hear it, we get it, and we're in. Like that it just took my confidence to a whole nother level because obviously I was trying to figure out if parents would even see, that this information was important or could be taught to teenagers, while they were, yet in high school and not in the real world yet. So that was huge for me in terms of a confidence booster, and it allowed me to say my first sale was international because you guys are in Toronto, Canada. So that was really unique. So I can say, oh yeah, my business was immediately international. So that was really awesome. So,
Yeah,
all right.
I remember that moment. We were also excited with my husband because we talked to our boys about some of the skills like networking, for example, right?
Mhm.
And you can tell them, but they know we are parents and, blah, 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 blah. So we really wanted them to hear it from someone like you who experienced it in real life and really did very well in real life with those skills. So we were excited.
Awesome, awesome. That was great. So we have this call that's supposed to be a market research call and turns into a sales call, which was just incredible, right? And so now it's like, okay, so we've met this, well, not I wasn't a stranger anymore, but once was a stranger, and now we've sent him a whole bunch of money. And so so let's talk about, once your sons got into the course. So they were a part of the prototype course over the summer. What were some of the things that you noticed that was transformational in them as they went through that course?
So I had two boys. They are very different from each other. So my younger one, he's the shy guy, right?
Mhm.
But and when I asked
Damn.
him, so what did Daniel say? What did you learn? Really um, he didn't really share much. But and at that time during the summer here in Canada, we were still under lockdown, and he
Okay.
was trying to find a summer job. Now imagine under lockdown for a 16-year-old finding a job. But I think because of you, he had a job right after everything opened. He got
Mm,
his dream job, and not just because of luck, because he learned that if he wants to achieve something, he needs to take the initiative and he needs to go after it. So he really wanted a job in a climbing gym. So he's a
hmm.
climber, wall climber, and he wanted that summer job, but gyms were closed at that time, and what do you do? But he was in contact with the gym owner. He was reminding of himself to the owner, and he was saying, yes, I want to do that as soon as you open. And really he had an interview, and he was very confident in that
Mm.
interview. I think that was his first interview. So,
Wow.
a shy guy, but on Zoom they had an interview, and he got that job, and he actually still has the job. So now on the weekends he still works there, and it's a dream job for him because he can climb after
Hmm.
he now knows people. He really loves it. So yeah, he's still a shy guy, but he recognizes that if he wants to achieve something, he needs to take the initiative. And I actually asked him today, like, what his big takeaway was from the course, and he said that Daniel said that you don't need to succeed the very first time, but if you continue doing and trying again and again, that you will eventually succeed. So that was Sam. Yeah, he's doing really
Awesome.
well.
Awesome. My guy, Sam. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. It's funny, towards the end of the course, he actually started to come out of his shell more. He started to talk a bit more on the calls. It's funny. One time I asked him, I said, "Do you know how to smile?" And then he smiled, and then we laughed about it. And then after that, his personality shined through much more. And so that was really awesome just to kind of see that side of him. So that was cool. What about Max, the oldest one?
And Max, the older one, so he's not the shy one. I think he he let you know about his opinions. I think for him the biggest aha moment was about networking and how important it is in
Hmm.
his life. And he knows quite a few people, but he wasn't even aware of how many people he knows. I think one of the homeworks that you do in the program is to write down names of all the people they know, and
Hmm.
he came up with this huge list of people he had no idea, right? But
Hmm.
I think, and yeah, so again, I was talking to him on the phone today because he's now studying in Scotland. So we
Hmm.
were talking, and he said, yeah, every time he meets a new person, somewhere at the back of his mind, he's thinking, I don't know if this new person and I will have something in common in terms of opportunities or connections or cooperation or something like that. So he really benefited from that part of your program. And I remember when he said, you taught them that they need to do something special for their
Hmm.
connections, for the people that they
Yeah.
know.
Add
And
value.
yeah, absolutely add value. I don't know the terminology. I
Hmm.
just know
Yeah,
what
no, that's
they
cool.
taught me. And
Yeah.
he was going on a trip with his buddies from school, and he decided that instead of just treating them to a pizza from some kind of pizza place, he will actually cook for them
Mm.
as adding value because he likes to cook,
Yeah.
and he thought it would be that special something that
Hmm.
would create the memories. And yeah, everyone is talking about Max's cooking on that trip. So
Ah, I
yeah,
love it.
that was his adding value. And he's in touch with those boys, and that's what they talk about.
So, Katerina, here's the $1 million question, right? So, one of the things that the hurdles that I'm always trying to figure out how to better just serve parents and overcome is parents don't think to teach their kids what I teach them, right? So it's one of those things where, and we learned, in our course, right? You have to find the keywords that people are searching for, when it comes to your niche. But I found that parents are not searching for what I'm offering, but it's a huge need. It's a huge game changer. It's a huge advantage, and it's a cheat code for life for these kids to develop these skills as early as possible. So, being a parent, that has, put both of your sons, through Best Bet Skills Academy, what would you say to a parent that is thinking about enrolling their kids?
It's definitely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And it's worth it at this early age because it puts the kids at an advantage. They know how to, and it doesn't matter whether they go further to other schools, colleges, universities, or whether they go and work or learn a trade, whatever. The skills that you are teaching them gives them a better chance to present themselves to the world, to the people they are meeting in the best way possible, and really go and get whatever dream they dream about. Like Sam, he wanted that dream job and he got it
That's
because
incredible. I love it.
you taught him what is involved in the process, and it's not just waiting and hoping that something will happen,
Right.
but doing something actively, and then once you get in the process, how to do that, what will get you there, all those skills. So yeah, it's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I'm so happy that my boys spend the summer with you.